Let's see if it's working. Let's see if it's... Yeah, alright. Oh my gosh, it's working, I think. I don't know if anyone's here yet, though. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. It's funny how doing live stuff really freaks me out because you can't filter it. You can't edit. I don't like that one bit. But, you know, Taylor tries. That's what we're doing. So I don't think anyone's watching yet. I don't even know, I don't know if people can see eventually. Oh, hi, it's Jim. Hi. I was just saying, I'm gonna wait and like kind of set everything up because this is the first time I'm doing it. So appreciate y'all, but yeah, let's see what happens. It might just be you and me, Jim, in which case I'm fine. We can hang out, we can talk. It's gonna be a great time. Yeah, I'm gonna post on my Instagram too. Hey everybody, I'm on the internet doing some live streaming stuff, so come check it out. That's how that goes. Yeah, it's super exciting. Man, I really hope people can't go back and see all the last like 5 minutes of me just fumbling around with this, because that doesn't sound fun. Aw, thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. I felt bad. I remembered recently that I think I was helping you with like your club juggling for a little bit, and then I completely, you know, I think I started traveling and disappeared. So I did not forget about you. Well, I did, but I remembered. So I'll come back and respond to those messages at some point. Yeah. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just checking to see if these things are up and going. So my live thing on Patreon. Is that how you found it? You found it on Patreon, right, Jim? This link. That's how you saw it. Oh, I'm sorry you had to stop learning. That's tough. But I know that feeling when you when life gets in the way. I have so many things that I've started learning recently, and then it just, you know, it just turned into it took a back burner, and I hate that feeling. I hate it so much, especially when you're making like a lot of progress. But that's how life goes. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. I think it's just gonna be you and me. It's just gonna be me and Jim, which is cool. And Lemon, look. She looks so guilty. Look at her. Oh, hi, Bram. Is that how you say your name? Bram. Hey, there's 3 of us. Yes. I'm gonna be super awkward with this whole process because I don't do live streams, like, ever. I think the last time I did a live stream was on Instagram, and that was probably 4 months ago, 5 months ago. So this is very new for me. I don't like it much, but I think you guys are supportive, and so that's good. Yeah. But yeah, this is my room. This is Lemon. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, or anything you want to talk about. You're abroad right now. Where are you at? That sounds awesome. First of all, where are you from? Second of all, where are you at? That's what I want to know. Asking the real questions. I'm also gonna drink my drink, but you're gonna think it's gross. It looks green and gross, but I'm gonna drink it, so don't judge me. But it's also got Clark Griswold on it, which is pretty cool. It's always Christmas in my house. Belgium, currently in Sweden. Wow, that's awesome. I've been to neither of those places, and in fact probably could not point them out on maps because I went to school in the public education system in America. So, but I know that they are both countries, and I know that they exist in Europe, so I'm not that bad. But I guess it's pretty bad that I don't know where on a map those are. Is it creepier if I look like at the camera? Is it better if I'm looking more down? I feel like it might be really intense if I'm making like eye contact with you guys, but I can do that. It makes me nervous. But you're kind of like, you're the people who are helping me figure this out, so I need your input. What's better and what's not. Is this better? Anyone else that has popped on, feel free to start saying some stuff in the chat. That is why I'm here. I'm here to listen to you and to answer your questions and to get to know you guys better, because you guys are like my heart fans, and I heart you, so thanks. I'm gonna fidget with this toy. I 3D printed this yesterday, which was super fun. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's some sort of like spheres, but they can't come apart, and they're just super satisfying. So I will try not to fidget with them too much because they're probably annoying. Thanks, Bram. I really appreciate that input. That's helpful. So a little bit, but not like creepy is what you're saying. I can do that. I think I can try to make that happen. I'm putting stuff here. Look, better. Yeah. But absolutely, it says that a couple people have joined and nobody has said anything, and so I'm very disappointed in you right now. But not in a mean way, just enough that I want you to say hi. Let me know that you're here. Say hello. And answer questions. I can start answering questions that I have about myself. Like, you know, oh, there we go. Let's see what. Teresa. Hi, Teresa. I remember you from filling out things for Patreon, so yay. Is it possible to juggle blind or with one eye? I feel like, okay, so first of all, it is absolutely possible to juggle blind. I not only, like, is it possible with a blindfold, which we do in juggling conventions a lot and festivals. It's a game where you sit and you close your eyes and you juggle for as long as you can. It's pretty hard, but it's not as hard as you would think if you're pretty good at juggling 3 balls. But I also know jugglers who are like partially blind. Not very many, but there are a couple who like have severe sight issues and have still managed to learn like some crazy amazing juggling tricks. So I actually think that's super interesting to me. How, yeah, you can juggle blind with like, if your vision is impaired after you've learned how to juggle, but you can also learn how to juggle even if you are blind, or at least, you know, partially blind. So I think that's really fascinating. With one eye sounds super hard, actually, because I think that would be harder because your depth perception is like all messed up. I could try to do it. You have one blind eye and you will try to learn juggling. Yeah, I think you could, especially if you can like partially see out of it. If it's completely blind, that's a harder challenge, but I think you can do it. Our brains are pretty impressive. It's incredible. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try right now. Where did I put my juggling balls? I'm gonna find them. Aha! I found them right here. Okay. So, juggling. My camera's too high. That's okay. I'm gonna do it right here. Juggling with one eye closed. Here we go. Oh, that's weird. It's definitely hard. Okay, so it's definitely possible. I think you should learn how to juggle, Teresa. It is hard, And it is hard for the reason that I thought, because you can't tell this way where the balls are going. So you have to really rely on this accuracy horizontally. So just keep that in mind if you start learning. I'm going to put a tutorial up this weekend on how to juggle 3 balls, and hopefully that will help. Bram, awesome. I will definitely check out that Discord. I don't fully understand Discord, but I'm trying to learn because it seems to be a cool thing to do. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm like just juggling. Made me tired. Like I'm like breathing heavy. That's not a good sign. Whew. Which juggling balls are these? These are my G-balls. G-balls gives me some free products every so often, and these are some of them. These are E8 Pro, I'm gonna say is what these are called. Yeah, E8 Pro with the suede on them. I really like them. They're nice. I don't use G-balls as my primary juggling ball for a couple different reasons. I don't love the feel of them as much as a lot of people do, but I think that G-balls are the #1 recommended beanbag out there, so clearly they're good. They're very durable. These are nice, but they're also pretty. Look at the pretty color. They also have my old logo on them. I don't know if you can see. No. Oh, wait. No, right there. See? Yeah. So that's cool. He put that on them for me, so I appreciate that. I can show you. I can't though. They're not in here. I was going to show you the ones that I like. Here's some really cool ones that I just got. They're not really juggling balls. They're more like fidget balls. They're They're clearly like little monkey fists, right? But they're really fun to like fidget with and just do these like palm spinning things. This company sent them to me, and I like them a lot more than I thought I would. I caught it. That was cool. I like them a lot more than I thought I would, because, you know, I've tried to do it with contact balls. If you don't know what those are, they're just like bigger. I have some somewhere. I have toys everywhere. Oh, here they are. I'm back. Don't leave. This is a contact juggling ball. It's just an acrylic. It's crazy. I can't do anything with it, but like you're supposed to do cool labyrinth type stuff with it. And people will take 3 of them and do palm spinning stuff. I can't do it yet. I mean, I could learn, but it's just not something I'm like wanting to focus on. But these little ones are super satisfying, because they just like improve your dexterity enough where you have, you know, a challenge, but it's also like doable as opposed to these big ones. So I'm really enjoying it, even though it's kind of stupid. I dig it. Any afterthoughts from visiting the Middle East? Yes. I have so many thoughts about that whole thing. I don't even know if I fully processed it. It was weird. It was weird for a lot of reasons. I actually filmed like I tried to film like a vlog about it, and I will at some point edit that, but it was really interesting going to Afghanistan. I assume, you know, the 4 people that are watching, hi, I love you guys. I assume you guys know that I was in Afghanistan for 2 weeks, and then I immediately went to England, and that I think was the biggest like mind hurdle. Was going to Afghanistan was hard. There was culture shock, but I was kind of prepared for a lot of it thanks to my friend Erin, who's awesome. You should check her out if you don't know her, Erin Stevens. But the shift from Afghanistan to England really messed me up. Like, because I went from being in Afghanistan for 2 weeks where, you know, I had to wear a headscarf, and I mean, I chose to, but I wore a headscarf, and I had, you know, I wore long sleeves and was very modest and polite and doing all this stuff. And, you know, it's not appropriate to touch men. Women aren't supposed to dance. There's a lot of rules that were very different from my own culture. But then on top of that, very different from going to basically like a small Burning Man-esque type festival, which was a European juggling convention in England. So my brain kind of freaked out. Like 2 days in, I think I started just crying. And like just from the culture shock of it, you know, it was just like going from a place where women were, you know, very, I don't know, I want to use the right words because I don't want to say anything offensive, but where women are, you know, very kept kind of contained, and then going to England where there were just like half naked, gorgeous women with, you know, all their skin showing and just dancing and doing all these things, and it was very weird. It was just like, it was a crazy adjustment. I mean, for the first week out of Afghanistan, I had a hard time just making physical contact with a man, which was crazy. You know, like if a guy came to hug me, I was like, oh. So that was, it was interesting. It was a fascinating thing. It also just really made me, I think the thing that I have the hardest time with so far is how, in Afghanistan, I got to see how much juggling mattered to them. And it's hard to explain why, but like, you know, it's a war-torn country. The kids there don't have a lot going on. They don't have a lot of fun, and juggling for them was their life. Like, that is the funnest thing that they've ever done and will ever do, because at a certain point they just don't get to do it anymore. You know, once they reach like adulthood, the women are going to get married and become moms and run the household, and then the men are going to go get jobs and become fathers, and like hobbies become kind of non-existent is what I experienced. And so it was so amazing to see how much they really appreciated the times that they got to juggle. You know, this childhood-like thing that they only get to do until they're adults, and then it's gone. And it really just made me appreciate how much for the rest of my life I can, if I want to go juggle, I can do it. If I want to go learn guitar, I can do it. If I want to go, you know, learn how to play tennis or anything I want to do, I can pretty much go do. And that's crazy that, like, that's not how it is everywhere. So that really, really stuck with me, and it stuck with me at the European Juggling Convention too, just seeing how many people didn't seem to like appreciate that as well. But I also didn't appreciate it, so I get it. It's just like, I hopefully will never take that for granted again. Just the fact that, like, if I'm 80 years old, I can go do a sport or juggle or do anything I want because I have that freedom. Yeah. Mike, what's up, Mike? You have a question. Let's see. What would you say to others who want to pursue their passions? I'd say do it. That's what it comes down to. I don't know if you're asking me that question because you think I'm like super successful at pursuing my passions. Admittedly, I'm not necessarily the best role model in that. I don't, like, this is not my full-time job. I don't make a ton of money juggling or anything. So it's not as though I've turned my passion into like a really successful career. I guess it's successful in that I have a lot of people who like it online, but I don't consider myself successful in the sense of like monetary gain. So, yeah, you know, if that's what you're asking is like, how do people pursue their passion and do that? I don't know yet. I'm not there. But if you're just wondering how to just pursue your passion and do it in a way that's like a part of your life, I've found for me that making something a part of your life every day in small pieces is really, really valuable. And the times that I get overwhelmed and start lacking in progress on anything that I'm passionate about, it's usually because I've fallen behind on doing it every day. So I find that just like, yeah, like if I'm really excited about juggling, than just juggling for 10, 20 minutes every day, I make so much more progress than if I just do it like 2 hours every week and then don't touch it again or don't think about it. I think incorporating your passion into your daily life is really good for you. And then from like a depression standpoint, you know, I talked about that a little bit before. I think a huge part of why I'm doing better with my depression is because I have incorporated my passions into my life more and made them more important. So even though I'm not making money off of them, or at least not enough money to live, I'm still making them a big enough priority that I don't feel stifled and I feel like life is worth living, you know? It's good. Yeah. Do you have a favorite flow toy or anything in that field? So when you say flow toy, what specifically do you mean, Jim? Do you mean like poi and other flow toys? I don't. So I mean, this is an interesting. First of all, hello, Henry. That's a really adorable hello. I just wanted to say that. Focusing. I can focus. Okay, so poi, contact balls, staff, etc. So I actually considered juggling part of flow, which is why I was confused, because like toss juggling to me is still flow. But if you're specifically talking about like those disciplines, I really, really, really like poi, but I really, really, really suck at it. I find it so hard. I have tried. I mean, like I can do this one, the 3-beat weave, I think is what it's called. I can do that one, and it's fine. But I you know, I don't know if it's just that people aren't good at teaching, because I'm usually pretty good at learning. So, but the times that I've tried to learn poi from people, I just can't get it, and I really do think part of it is because they're not as good at teaching it, which is not cool of me to say. But I think there's a way to teach it that's easier than how a lot of poi spinners teach it, and I don't get it. But I am gonna learn it. I am very much gonna learn poi, because it's super fun. It just hurts a lot, because it hits you in the face. Oh yeah, Bram, so what is flow toy and what is poi? So poi is, in fact, I'm gonna go get one. Just hold on. Where's it? Where is it at? Yes. It's my trunk of stuff. This is a poi. Well, I guess this is a poi. I don't know if poi has to be two. I think this is a poi. It's a ball with a rope and like a knob, and you spin it like this. And usually you have two, and you spin them all pretty like. It's a really cool art, I think. And it stems from a lot of stuff from all over the world. Like, you know, it's pretty historical. And I am not good at it. But flow, to answer your question about flow is kind of like, it means different things to different people. A lot of people use it to describe kind of a subculture of manipulation arts, which is mostly poi, mostly contact, things where you kind of become meditative when you're doing it, and it's more about like this improv style of it rather than like it's hard. You know, we debate about it in the juggling community as well. I think that flow and juggling go together, because right now there's kind of a rift between those two communities, and I don't like it, and I think they should go together. So trunk of stuff. I should trademark that. I should. I'm gonna make a hat that says trunk of stuff. I'd probably get some inappropriate comments because I'm a girl about it. Yeah, you can see fire poi. Fire poi are very cool. I have no interest in doing fire poi. I'm not a big fire fan in general. I've been thinking recently I should probably do a fire video, a fire juggling video for my Instagram, because people like it, but it's just not my jam, you know? It's not hard, it's not scary, I just don't love it. It's like a lot of, it's a lot of noise. It's like, I am 100% as awkward as I seem on videos. Now you get to see that I am just as awkward. Anyway, fire is, it's noisy and it's like, it only lasts for like 5 minutes. It's too much work. I just would rather just juggle. Nobody asked that question, but I chose to answer it anyway. I want to talk about Mike's comment real fast. He said that it's not about how much money you make, but how much showing what you love and all that stuff, and I 100% agree. I've been thinking recently about doing a video for YouTube about what I've learned from Instagram, because I've posted on there a lot, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, was how I get asked, like, well, how do I get popular on Instagram? How do I get likes and all that stuff? And for me, it's going to be different for everyone. Everyone has a different set of skills and a different personality and whatever. There's a lot of factors that go into why I did well, right? But I really think that you cannot devalue if you like your video, other people will probably like it too. And I see a lot of people putting stuff up where it's just like, I just want to ask them, like, would you really enjoy watching this video? And, I think their answer would be no if they were being honest. So it's like, stop trying to make stuff for other people. Make it for you. And if you like it, you'll find an audience that likes it too. Yeah. Fireboy. New hobby. There's a video of me juggling kitchen knives with my friends, kind of a joke. Do I have a set of juggling knives and do I like them? Yeah, I remember that video. That was with my roommate's girlfriend, Amelia. She was very nice to let me juggle, or pretend to juggle knives. I don't think I actually got to the point where I juggled knives over her. I don't think I would feel good juggling regular kitchen knives over a normal person. I don't know why I said normal, just over any person. I don't think I would feel good. Juggling regular knives, like non-juggling knives, over a person, I'd have to practice a lot for that. But I don't have any actual juggling knives. I used to have a set like 10 years ago, and they got stolen out of my car. My car got broken into, and they got taken. So they're pretty expensive. They're like $50 a knife, maybe a little less now. But they're pretty expensive to the point where I just was like, it's not worth it to get new ones. But it's been a decade, so I should probably invest in more. Yeah. There's a really good company called 3 Finger Juggler, which is just adorable, right? And they make some pretty crazy looking knife stuff, and I really want to get some. I just haven't yet. Yeah. But I don't mind juggling knives, more so than fire. I would rather juggle knives than fire, because knives just feel like clubs. They're just like slightly more awkward, but there's not as like a setup or anything like that, and I think they're just as cool. No, don't be sorry. It gives me he said sorry for so many questions. I'm happy. I need to answer questions, otherwise I'm gonna sit here super awkward. Because I said I was gonna do this. And that being said, I wanted to take a minute and like thank everyone of you guys for being a supporter on Patreon. And one of the things I've learned from Patreon is how hard it is. Like, it is harder than I thought it was going to be. There's there's a couple things that I've promised on my Patreon that I haven't even delivered yet, and I feel terrible about that, but I'm trying to be very kind to myself about it and know that I'm one person, and I'm still going to get it out. It's only been like, I haven't had it up very long, so it's only been a couple months. But this is a good example of something that was supposed to be happening every month, and this is the first time it's happening. So I really appreciate the continued support and the patience that you guys have shown with it, because I'm trying. But I'm down to do this once a month. Hopefully you guys are having a good time, even if we just hang out, I'm gonna keep drinking my gross looking green drink. It's gonna be great. 3D print new knives. You know, if I could make them look sharp, I probably would. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mike. I try to be positive and, you know, helpful. Yeah. Oh, I agree. Everyone's super nice. I found that in general with juggling too. If any of you, I know some of you are getting into juggling, and if any of you are considering it, that is a big reason to do it because the juggling community is really, really cool. Very, very supportive overall. I mean, there's always going to be outliers that are kind of jerks, but I would say of a lot of the communities that I've become members of, English is hard. Of all the communities that I've become a member of, which is a lot because I have a lot of hobbies, juggling is one that I just keep coming back to primarily because of the people. The people just are awesome. So, yeah. Yeah. What other 3D things have I printed? Oh, I printed this cool box. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? It's holding my crap. It's mostly holding SD cards, and then I stuck this in today. But look at how cool this is. If you don't like really... Dang it. I'm gonna take those out while I show it to you. This is a problem. I don't know why this keeps happening. I think it's something to do with temperature, but the tops, like, it was printed like this, and so the very end, it always ends up getting all spiraled, all goopy-like. I'm sure that Bram maybe will help me. And that happened too with this. See, look at it, got all goopy up at the top. That's stupid. This is a glasses holder. I like 3D printing. Wasting plastic, yes. You can't get past the 3-ball cascade. Well, hopefully, you know, Jim, first of all, a 3-ball cascade is a big deal, so that's great. Second of all, I think having a good set of instructions will help. And this first tutorial I'm putting out is how to juggle 3 balls, which won't help you much, but there might even be some like tips in there that will help your pattern get better, so I do recommend watching that. And then the next one will be a 4-ball tutorial, so you can start working on 4 balls, but after that I'm gonna do some like easy 3-ball trick tutorials, so hopefully we can get you learning more than just the cascade, because there's some really easy ones that are not difficult to learn. Yeah, 3D pizza. I think that, okay, so Henry said, what if you 3D print a 3D printer from a 3D printer? I've seen some weird stuff like that. Like, people are printing other things that they're using to do things with. Like, it's crazy how you can basically print technology. It hurts my brain. I'm gonna stick to little cubbies for now. My next experiment is going to be organizing my desk with like legit containers on my desk and like that fit on my desk, so that I can organize things. I'm excited. You juggled 2 glass plates. Yeah, you shouldn't juggle glass plates, Mike. It doesn't. First of all, 2 is a weird number for juggling glass plates, and then also just juggling glass plates is a bad idea. Plates are hard to juggle in general, like anything round that doesn't have a hole in it. Basically anything that's not a ring that's round is really hard to juggle. So you should, I'm surprised you don't know how to juggle. You should learn. You can learn from my tutorial. I worked really hard on this tutorial, probably too hard. I need to start not working so hard on them, which I know sounds counterintuitive, but I put so much time into some of my videos that like then I don't make more, and I think it's more important. I'm starting to realize that if I put like 80% effort in, but then could make more videos, that would be more beneficial for everyone than if I make it perfect, you know? So I need to just get better. You know, it's what I gotta do. Would you say that it's from your film background? The fact that I'm like a perfectionist with it? Absolutely. I was talking to my roommate about this yesterday. When it comes to editing, like I'm pretty good at filming a video really quick. That's not hard for me. You know, it's just you put a camera up and you talk. Talking's hard, but I'm getting better at that. But the editing takes me forever because I've, for the last decade, worked in editing on movies and TV shows. And one of the things that I love about editing that people don't really understand because of this like YouTube culture is that editing as an art form is so much, it's very much like a feeling energy thing. Like you're trying to find how the scene should be with these like really micro details and like how you put it together, and it should flow and it has this energy and you know, it's beautiful. Like it's really fun how the puzzle comes together in this way that's just perfect if you spend time on it and you find it. And like that's when you can spend a week just working on one cut and just trying to find where that cut is perfect. And I love that about working. I loved that about working on movies because they give you that time because they know it's important, because one cut can make a difference in whether it feels right and wrong. When it comes to YouTube, that doesn't matter. I mean, it can, but really, if somebody watches a video, they're not in it for like that feeling, right? They're in it to get some information or to be like slightly entertained. So it just is so much less important. And so for me to get into this mindset of just do it, just get it good enough is so hard because I've been trained to treat every cut like it's important. But for YouTube, it's just not. And that's something I learned in Instagram, honestly. And I tell people that with Instagram is like, I see so many jugglers who sit there and say like, oh, I filmed so many clips, but I don't want to upload them because they're not good enough. And I'm just like, who cares? Like, people are gonna see it and then forget about it in a week anyway. So you might as well share it. If anything, it's great for you because it's an example of where you were at that Snapchat. That's not what I meant to say. Snapshot. I'm tired, I think. It's a snapshot of where you were at that moment in your life and like what tricks you were working on and just where your quality was. And I think like that's what I have to remember for YouTube. But on Instagram, it was very easy for me because it's just like, yeah, if you're always trying to like blow people away, first of all, you're never going to post something. And then second of all, you're going to get really disappointed when you do post something that's really good because it's not going to get enough traction anyway because you haven't been building it up. So I gotta get better with that on YouTube. Yeah, so Bram, I love that too when you get like the music perfectly synced. That's awesome. You'll have to send me your YouTube so I can check it out. But yeah, I think for me, and honestly, that's the thing I have to remember too, is like, I think my 80% good is honestly even better than like most people's 100% good. So I need to, when I say like I need to like care less, it's still going to be very good. It's just that it's not going to be perfect. But I think it's more important just to get stuff out for people because I have so many tutorials that I want to make and help people. I want people to learn how to juggle, but I just haven't been doing it because I've been spending so much time on one tutorial, and it's just not, I don't think it's the way to go. I think I gotta start making more. What do I film with for the short videos? I film with the same thing. Ooh, I shook my camera. I film with the same thing for Instagram as I do for YouTube. It's over here actually. I can grab it. This is my camera. This is a Sony A7S. No. This is a Sony A7 III. This is not the lens that I typically used, but Sony A7 III. It's a great little camera. Costs about $2,000, which is really cheap for a lot of these cameras. So I highly recommend it. It's great. I have a really good lens. I think I get a big question about like, how do you get that crazy shallow look, which makes it look really cinematic. That is the lens that I use 100%. Where is it? Nope, here it is. Give me. Awkward. Yes, this is my 85 millimeter lens. This is pretty much what I shoot all of my Instagram on because it looks great. It looks super crisp and shallow. I have to be really far away from it though because it's such a long focal depth. It's an 85 f1.8. So this guy is real good. It's a real good lens. This is the one I've been using for like vlogging, doing this stuff because I'm trying that. But yeah, I highly recommend this lens and this camera. Super great. That being said, you know what's funny is my videos like look really good. I agree. I've worked hard on making them look good. But the times that I post videos from like my iPhone, I get the same amount of engagement. So it's just hilarious that like it's just hilarious. Like people don't really care, I don't think. I think it's more about what you're doing and who you are than like what you're using. That being said, I think I still consistently like using the nice lens because I like the look of it. But it is interesting how it doesn't seem to make a difference on whether my videos do well or not. So yeah, this lens definitely costs, I think it's like an $800 lens. This one I think was about $400. That's why I have no money. I'm in debt. Yay, credit cards. But I don't have any college loans because I paid those off. So at least I got that going for me. Yeah. I do have a list, is the word. I have a list of video, oh my god, talking. I have a list of equipment that I recommend if you're trying to get into like slightly better filmmaking, but you don't want to pay $3,000 for like a really good camera setup. And I'll just type that right here, right now. kit.com/Taylor Tress. I'm pretty sure I'm like 80% sure that's the link. If it doesn't work, you can let me know. Aren't you selecting which clips you post? That's your... Yeah, so Bram, I think what you're trying to say is like I have experience setting up the I don't fully understand your statement. But I think what you're trying to say is basically, yeah, like my experience with knowing how to shoot something and like what to show is more important. Yeah. Yeah, and I do a workshop on this at juggling festivals recently. It's like how to film juggling, but it's basically just in general like things that I've learned about the internet and how to frame and how to set up shots. And like one of the things that I see a lot that just drives me nuts is how jugglers will do shots where they're like, you know, like, okay, so say this is the frame, which it is. This is the frame, and the juggler, this is hard. The juggler takes up like that much of it. Like their whole body is this tiny little thing in this big frame, and I'm just like why not just cut from your waist up and just show me the juggling pattern instead of showing me your feet? And now, you know, especially on a phone when it's tiny and you only get so much space to view it, so it's like take advantage of it. And I think a lot of that definitely comes from filmmaking and working in the industry and the personality stuff. Honestly, like I think that's hard for people, like knowing how long to keep a clip going and when to cut it out. And like, you know, my whole thing is like I usually show the before and after because I'm weird and awkward and I want to show that, and it turns out that worked. Where you want to travel to next? Man, okay, so there's 2 questions that Mike just asked. Where do I want to travel to next, and will Lip Sync Friday return? Every Friday, Mike, every Friday in the morning, I'm like, I gotta do a lip sync today, and I always think of you, because you're the one that always asks me about it, so that's good. But then I always forget, and then it's Saturday, and I'm like, dang it. And it's kind of hard, right? Because in order to film it on my phone, I have to be playing it not on my phone, because iPhones still don't have the feature where you can play music and record at the same time. It drives me nuts. But, so I have to play it on a speaker and then record with my phone separate. So that's usually why I forget or why I don't have time to do it. But yes, I love Lip Sync Fridays and I want to do them more. So I just keep forgetting, but I'll do one this week. Then the other question is, where do I want to travel to next? I really want to go to Mexico. I've been to Mexico. I went to Mexico earlier this year. That was a loud noise. I don't know if you heard that. It scared me. Sorry. Oh. I didn't see my face, but I'm sure I looked terrified. Anyway, what was the question? Oh, I went to Mexico earlier this year for a juggling festival. I had a great time. I met so many cool jugglers down there and so many nice people, and I really liked it. Like, to the point where I almost want to just, like, go live there or something for 6 months or a year, just to experience that culture. So I was really wanting to go for Halloween or for Day of the Dead, but I think, like, financially and just time, I have so much I gotta do. I don't think it's gonna happen. But that will probably be my next trip, just because it's right there. It's, like, not crazy expensive to fly there, and I have a lot of friends there. So Mexico would be the answer to that question. Have I tried Adobe Premiere Rush? I have. I don't use it, like, consistently, but I've definitely opened it up and played with it. I've recommended it to a few people. I was super surprised as well how good it was. On the iPhone, it's, like, crazy easy to use. It's just so intuitive. Like, I think they did a really good job with Adobe Rush. The only thing that they were lacking on last time I checked, that is basically why I don't use it, because I would honestly probably use it, is that they don't have slow motion. Like, you can't dip into slow motion and dip out of it, which is just like, come on, guys. Once they get that, and I think they said that it was coming, but once they get that, it's gonna be, like, such a game changer, I think, for a lot of people. But obviously I use slow motion a lot, so I need access to that. So, but Premiere is pretty easy for me to jump onto. It's not, I'm pretty fast at it. Yeah. Well, thanks, Bram. I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely, again, in that workshop that I do, I talk about how even with, like, an iPhone or just any decent camera, you can still achieve a good image without just relying on, like, how good the quality of the camera is. Composition, personality, things like background, I talk about a lot. Like, stop filming juggling in front of trees, because trees make it hard to see, unless you have shallow depth of field, because I do that. What are you gonna install? Wait. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm glad, it's cool that there's only a handful of you guys here. I was expecting, like, 2, so I'm glad that there's more than that. But I'm also glad that there's not, like, 50. I don't have 50 patrons, so there's no way there could be. But I like that I know everyone that's here, and we can all hang out, and this is good. I'm having a good time. The story of how kendama came into your life. Yeah, that's a good story. I'll tell you in a second. This tastes better than it looks. It looks gross, but it's good. But look, I already showed you, but I really like this cup. Kendama. Yeah, so my first kendama, okay, that's not true. This was my very first kendama. I got it back in 2009. Sweets kendamas came, well, Matt Sweets, the guy who invented Sweets kendama, came to the IJ festival, which is a juggling festival, and he was selling them, like, he had just started his company. and I bought this one. It's not attached right now, but yeah, it's pretty beat up. I bought it from him. He went on to be crazy successful. Sweets is like doing very well. He is definitely making money, which is awesome. He deserves it. It's been cool to see how they've progressed. I bought this and didn't really do anything with it. I think I learned how to do like big cup, small cup, and that was it. I never got into it. So I had this kendama, didn't do much with it up until a year ago. Last year, or like a year and a half ago, Kendama USA reached out to me on Instagram. I only had like 10,000 followers too. They were really nice about it, but they thought I was cool. They knew that I was a juggler. I think they were trying to get jugglers into kendama, which is really smart and a great business plan. And they sent me this one for free, which was so cool, and I was so happy. So I like practiced again some tricks. I didn't get very good though, and I didn't practice that much, but I learned a few more tricks than I had already known. Wait. Bram. Oh, Bram is leaving. Oh, I don't, sorry. It's very hard to do this and keep track of what people are saying. That's so cool that they have clip speed now. Awesome. Focus, back to the kendama story. So yeah, I have this. This is the one that they sent me like a year and a half ago. I got okay at it. I didn't learn that much. I don't know if I can show you. I'm gonna try. Now I have a lot. You see all those kendamas over there. I have a lot of kendamas. No, this camera's gonna be all messed up. Haha. So I have like a lot of kendamas now because I just love collecting stuff. Like, I'm the perfect person to get into kendama for kendama companies. Like, they knew what they were doing, because now I'm just like, buy them all. Even though I cannot do hardly any tricks. I can do a few, but not enough to warrant having that many kendamas. But just like every time I see a new one, I have to buy it. And it's also probably why I don't have money as well. Yeah. To be fair, I've gotten a few of those for free. Kendama USA has also sent me a couple for free. And I got a soul kendama for free. So like, I'd say like 3 or 4 of those I did not pay for. So don't judge me. But I really like kendama. It's super fun. But man, is it hard. Like, the fact that I think more people can do kendama than they can juggle, and that blows me away, because I think kendama is way harder. Like, the level of entry, to be fair, is easier. Like, it's easier to get to do something on a kendama than it is to juggle 3 balls. But to learn like tricks on a kendama versus learning juggling tricks, I think is so much harder, especially to get it consistent. Like, once you can do a trick in juggling, get Lemon, she's so cute. Once you can do a trick in juggling, you can do it pretty consistently with enough practice. Like, but with kendama, like, I still, to this day, after doing it pretty often, I cannot get the stupid spike every time. Like, I don't understand how people get consistent at it. It's so micro and like just really specific micro coordination that blows me away. It's very impressive, but it's also really addicting. I can see why people get into it. It's honestly, I think I would practice it more if it were quieter. I think that's my biggest hang up with it, is that it makes a lot of noise. It's like clink, 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 clink. And I have roommates, and you know, they don't care. Juggling makes noise too, but for some reason, like, a thud of a ball is in my head less annoying than like wood hitting wood. Again, my roommates are cool with it. They know what they signed up for when they got me, but it's like, I still try to be considerate. So practicing kendama makes me nervous. So Jim, you do kendama, it seems. That's very cool. All done. Hooray. Would you juggle with aliens? I don't understand the question. Like, would I, like, if they were jugglers and they wanted me to juggle with them, would I do that? Yeah, I'll juggle with anybody who's cool, as long as they're not trying to kill me or something. Yeah, I think aliens would be nice, especially if they had like a different style, like they had like different arms, or like they could do it with their brains. I think that'd be pretty cool. I wanted to do a long time ago, like 10 years ago, I started writing like a comic book, which was super neat about juggling superheroes, and one of them could control objects with their brain. You know, they had telekinetic powers, and I thought that was cool. So I might still someday try to make that, because I still think it's pretty cool. It sounds dumb, but it would be cool. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's awesome that you started doing kendama because of my video. You're probably better than me now. It's been amazing. If anyone follows other jugglers on Instagram, there are some jugglers who got into kendama like 5 months ago who are just crazy good already, and it's super inspiring, but also super annoying. You know that feeling? I'm sure people get that with me, but I get this with like most other jugglers where I'm just like, oh, I'm so happy for you, but I'm also very jealous. It's so, you know, because people, like non-jugglers, my friends in regular life, they think that I'm super coordinated and I'm like somehow really good at everything, which I think is hilarious because I am coordinated. Absolutely, I can juggle, and I'm good at learning new skills because I've built up so many skills and they all translate over. But like, really compared to, I've seen a lot of coordinated people, like really coordinated people, and jugglers tend to be very talented people. Like, not all of them. I don't want to say that in a way that like if you feel like you're not coordinated, you shouldn't juggle. That's not true at all. Anyone can learn how to juggle. You can learn coordination, but there are certain jugglers that you meet that you're just like, you're really good. And on average, I would say like the average juggler that I meet is a very coordinated, skilled human compared to the average non-juggler. And compared to the average non-juggler, I am above average in terms of coordination. But compared to the average juggler, I am, in my opinion, very much below average. It takes me so much longer to learn how to do tricks than most people that I know who juggle. It gets frustrating, actually. Like, I kind of talked about that in my depression juggling video that I posted on YouTube recently. Just how, like, it got me really upset how I just wasn't, like, I knew that I would never be one of the best. And I do think that that's, I just think that my coordination level is, like, physically, I couldn't get there unless I put a lot more time in. And I think the amount of time I'd have to put in versus like some other jugglers who I think are just quicker and better at it, it's too much. But that's not why I juggle, and that's fine. That being said, like, my favorite quote that I made up, but I think other people also say it, so it's not really my quote, is, I am not a juggler because I'm coordinated. I am coordinated because I'm a juggler. So like, as you've seen, I am always dropping and messing stuff up and like fumbling, and like I'm pretty awkward and uncoordinated in a lot of ways. But juggling has just helped me hone that in and actually get better. So it's like, if you feel like you're an uncoordinated human, you can learn it. Juggling is a very good way to get better at coordination. Funny story, I was actually... Oh, that's awesome. You have a coworker who's a professional juggler. I wonder if I know him. I know a lot of jugglers, but everyone sucks when they start. Like, I hear that a lot too. Like, oh, I suck at juggling, or I can't do it, or, I'm uncoordinated. And it's like, yeah, I suck at a lot of things when I start it, and then after a couple months of doing it, you get better. Juggling is the same way. You're gonna suck. You're gonna suck for a while. And then after again, like, I talk about this in my 3-ball tutorial, actually. Like, if you do it a little bit every day, I think it's, like, crazy how fast you'll see how fast you get better. Yeah, like, even just doing 15 minutes every day. That's honestly what I need to do with kendama, and I think I'm going to start incorporating that into my regimen, is just practicing kendama like 20 minutes every day, and I think that I'll see a huge increase. This is my theory, but yeah. I don't know that person, Mike, so dang it, but I'm sure he's very cool. How did I end up in Afghanistan? Where was I invited? I was gonna say were I invited, but that's not how you speak English. And did I go myself? Yes. So basically, the IJA, which is the International Jugglers Association, they do a competition. They do many competitions all around the world. They've set them up over the last like 8 years. And the whole point of that was to like make it more international. They used to have it just in America, pretty much up until 10 years ago. It was like the IJA competition was in North America every year. They still have that competition, but now they have these regional competitions that happen all over. So that's why I was in Mexico. That's why I was in Guatemala. They also have, that's why I was in England. They just had one in Russia and Taiwan. They basically go to all these countries, regions really, because it can change depending on the year which country it's in. And they set up a competition that's the same everywhere, so it's the same set of rules, and they have prize money, and it's great. And it's a really great program because the whole point of it is to try to unite people and to also just highlight how different all these regions are. Like, if you have the exact same set of rules and you put them in different countries, you get completely different results, and that's awesome. It's really cool. And so the East Asia, I'm so bad at regions. I think the IRC East Asia is what it's called. That doesn't sound right. Damn it. Let me see if I can find it. I put it somewhere. Does anyone know where Afghanistan is? I know it has Asia in it, and that's why it confuses me. It's like, maybe it's South Asia? I don't know. I don't know. Instagram, no, it's not. I don't know where it is. I think Afghanistan, East Asia. East Asia doesn't sound right, correct? South Asia. So, again, I went to public school in America. So, the IRC South Asia, I'm still worried that's wrong, is in Afghanistan every year. And it's run by a woman named Erin Stevens, who is a good friend of mine. She's very cool. You should follow her on Instagram if you don't. She's cool. What was I saying? I'm tired. Yes, so she invited me with the IJA to come out, and basically my job was to help teach and work with the kids, which she does every year, but then also to document and film the actual competition so that they could like make more videos and get more publicity, because they need more money and they want more support because it's a great program. So that was my job, was to go and film and try to make some cool videos. So I have to do that still for Mexico and Guatemala. No, I did Guatemala. I have to do Mexico and England and Afghanistan. So I have 3 big videos that I have to edit for the IJA soon. Which will be great. I mean, the footage was really great, and it's just a lot of pressure for me because I feel like I need to make it powerful, because that was like, I was invited out to try to make something good, and so it's hard. I'm like, it's, I have that same issue where I sit and overanalyze and like obsess over my edit, and it's even worse when it's for something that's important. Yeah, the IJA, International Jugglers Association, is amazing. I highly recommend even just becoming a member. It's like $40 a year. It goes to help a lot of stuff, and they have a lot of cool articles and resources, and it's just a good organization. I think it counts as a non-profit as well, so like it's a write-off. super love them. I wouldn't be where I am without the IJA at all. I wouldn't even be like doing Instagram or filming. Some members of the IJA really helped me out when I first started getting into video, and like supported me with gear that I never would have had. And so it's like, jugglers are just great people, and the IJA is a great group of people. Any advice to be good enough to go to a juggling festival? Yeah, you don't have to be good enough. You can just go. This is something that is like a really common misconception, I think. A lot of people I talk to, they think that they're not good enough or they have to be like pros in order to go to a festival like that, but it's absolutely untrue. There are people that go that can't juggle 3 balls, that just go and they want to learn, and then by the end of the week or the end of the weekend they can do 3 balls. Jugglers again are like the most supportive group of people. If you go and you're like, teach me, people will teach you. People will bring you into the community too. Like a lot of jugglers are like socially awkward, right? People don't think that I'm socially awkward, but I am. I have learned how to be less socially awkward for video and stuff, but I definitely was like the awkward kid in high school. I didn't have a lot of friends, and like it's just hard. And so I think a lot of jugglers tend to be those people that are like really shy or feel like they don't fit in. So I always tell people, like, if that feels like you, don't be afraid that if you go to a juggling festival, you're going to be like an outsider or an outcast, because everyone is that person, and they're all super happy to have a place where they can have a community. So people are really nice and supportive. And I mean, you do have to kind of try like to come out of your shell to meet people, because again, people are socially awkward. They're not going to like necessarily come up and be like, hey buddy, but some might. I do. But they also, if you come up and say, can you teach me this thing, usually they will. They're pretty nice. Yeah, so you can go to a juggling festival anytime, and it's the quickest way to get better. And juggling clubs are so helpful. There's juggling clubs all over. I don't know where you're located, Jim, but usually there's a juggling club within an hour drive of like most people that I meet, and often festivals. There's some good festivals coming up that I wish I could go to, but I can't. Usually they're like over a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and especially those regional ones, those smaller ones, super skill levels all over the place. Like you're not like if I go to one of those, I'm usually one of the best jugglers, which I am not one of the best jugglers in the world. So that says a lot. Like usually the average person there is doing 4 balls, which is very attainable. Yeah. And yeah, so if Jim, if you wanted to send me a message, or if you want to put it in here and let me know where you're located, I can try to help you find like your closest club, and you might be surprised. I mean, there might not be one, but there might. I want to eventually make like a list. It's kind of hard to compile them all, but I keep bumping my desk. Yeah, that's the problem with, so Jim said that there's one club, but it's not very functional. Yeah, honestly, that's kind of a problem here in LA, right? Like, there's a juggling club here, but like 3 people go, and admittedly, I'm not one of those people. I don't usually go because it's of the timing. It's hard for me to get to. But if it's at all functional, I still recommend doing it, because it can get you, like, usually it's not functional because people aren't going. So it's like, even if it's just you, at least you're going, and then hopefully the next time somebody comes in, they're not going to look at it and be like, oh, nobody went. It's hard. Creating things on Facebook and stuff, like trying to build it up is really helpful. Somebody's got to do it. That being said, it sucks when your local community isn't very good. I had a pretty strong one in Utah. Not necessarily strong in terms of skill level, but when I lived there, we had a group that went every week, and it was a great group, and it was really fun. And then when I moved to LA, I had a hard time with the fact that like nobody came, and I tried really hard to to kind of boost it up, and I did all the things, and I did meetups, and I just couldn't get people to come out. But I think LA is a weird, situation. But it's worth trying to see if maybe you can help build it up. But, if you want to wait until you get more into it too, that's totally understandable. Yeah, I agree with Mike. Juggling is special. It's super special. Oh my gosh, we've been doing this for an hour. That's crazy. It's 2:11. I should probably go pretty soon. That went by really fast. Cool. Yeah. I also really have to go to the bathroom, so that's good timing. Any last questions before I sign off and we do it again next month? Yeah, thank you guys so much for being my Otter Club patrons. I really, really, really appreciate your support and just your patience and all those things. And I'm hoping that soon I can have more stuff that you'll love. Bram's last question was, what, a controller on my desk? Yes, that one. That is an Xbox controller. I love playing Xbox, but I don't get to do it very much because I have too much stuff to do. When I do play, I got really into Red Dead 2, like really into it. I'm trying to get 100% completion in it, and I'm not crazy far off, which tells you how much time I've put into that game, if you know what that game is. It ate my life for a while, so I'm not really allowed to play much anymore, but I also play the Switch mostly now. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Yes. I play this one more than I play the Xbox, just because it feels less like a time suck, even though it probably is more. But I just got Spyro, and I'm excited to play that. I might eventually be doing Twitch streaming a little bit, too. I don't know if anybody does Twitch, but if you do, you can find me on there. I think it's Taylor Tries, same as all my other stuff. Yeah, it's, you can go find that, because I'll probably start doing that, like, once every couple weeks or something. Yes, Red Dead 2 is the best game ever. Do I play Super Smash? I used to play the old one a lot. This new one, I bought it, I just haven't played it. I just haven't had time, so I should get in that. Maybe I'll do that on Twitch. Yeah. And yeah, if you guys have Switches, you can send me messages and I can give you my friend code. I'm cool with that. Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. I will look into that. And I'm gonna sign off. Thank you guys again. You're awesome. I'll see you next month. Mwah. That was weird. I'm not gonna do that ever again. Bye.